Let's talk about exponents, order of operation, and inequality. We'll be using exponents here, how to evaluate first. We'll be able to use the order of operation guidelines. We'll also use more than one grouping symbol. We will be able to translate the word statements to symbol. We will learn the meaning of inequality symbols. Let's get started. First, we will learn how to evaluate the exponent. Here's an example. 5 square, meaning 5 to the power 2. 5 is the base and 2 is the exponent. If I have to expand this, I will write this as 5 times 5. 5 times 5 will give me 25. So 5 square equals 25 when we evaluate. Let's look at another example. 3 to the power 4. Let's first expand. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 is my base, which I'm multiplying 4 times. 3 times 3 will give me 9. 9 times 3 will be 27. 27 times 3 will give me 81. Now, before we begin the order of operation, here are the things that you should keep in mind. There are 4 operating symbols: adding, subtracting, multiplication, and division. And we have a grouping symbols that are parentheses, brackets, and fraction bar. We'll always take care of the grouping symbols before we do the operating symbols. This chart for order of operation is very useful, and I highly recommend that you take a picture of it and keep it in front of you while doing the problems. The way to remember this will be, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. First, you always take care of the parenthesis, meaning grouping symbols, whether it could be brackets, parentheses, or a fraction bar. Next, you must take care of the exponents. Next, you can either multiply or divide first, depending on whichever comes first from left to right. And in the end, we'll add or subtract, depends on whichever comes first from left to right. Let's look at the examples and work on the order of operations. Find the value of each expression. Here's our first example. Now this is 18 minus 7 times 2 plus 6. Let me get the laser pointer to explain this. In this question, you have subtraction, adding, and multiplication. So according to the previous table that I showed you, you have to do the multiplication first. In this case, I will definitely multiply 7 times 2 first, which will be 14. 18 minus 14 plus 6. Now we have to decide what we will do next. We have a choice between the subtraction and adding. Remember, according to the table, we have to perform from left to right. So left to right, subtraction comes first. I will subtract first. 18 minus 14 will be 4. In the end, you will do 4 plus 6 and get the answer 10. Let's look at another problem. 6 plus 4 in the parenthesis, 1 plus 2 times 3. Let me get the highlighter in this problem. In this example, I will start with the innermost parentheses first, meaning I will start by multiplying 2 and 3 first. That will give me 6 plus 4 times 1 plus 6. I'm still inside the parenthesis, so I will add 1 plus 6 first. The parenthesis has to be done first. Now I got 6 plus 4 times 7. 4 times 7 is a multiplication. So now you have a choice between adding and multiplication. You want to multiply first. 4 times 7 will be 28. Lastly, I'll add 6 plus 28, and my final answer will be 34. Let's begin with a few more problems. This time, you can pause the video and then look at the solution. Give a try yourself. Find the value of each expression. 12 plus 35 divided by 7 times 3. Here we have adding, dividing, and multiplication. According to the rule, the dividing multiplication goes first before adding. Now, between dividing and multiplication, left to right rule will apply. I will do the dividing first as this comes before the multiplication. 35 divided by 7 will give me 5. Now I have 12 plus 5 times 13. Between adding and multiplication, you have to pick multiplication. 5 times 3 will be 15. 12 plus 15 will give me 27. Let's look at another problem. 18 minus 4 square plus 3. We have subtraction, adding, and exponent. You have to take care of the exponent first, which we learned earlier. 4 square is 4 times 4, which is 16. Now we got 18 minus 16 plus 3. Between subtraction and adding, we have to pick from left to right. In this case, I'm going to subtract first. 18 minus 16 will give me 2. 2 plus 3 in the end, my final answer will result in 5. Here's one more. This time I'm using a fraction bar. So the fraction bar will do the numerator and denominator separately till the very end, and then if needed, I will reduce the fraction. Let's take care of the parentheses first on the top and the bottom. So I'll do 5 plus 1, which will give me 6. I'll do 1 plus 1, which will give me 2. Then I will do 8 minus 4, which will give me 4. And then I will do also the exponent 2 times 2 times 2. That will give me 8. So that's how I got 6 times 6 minus 9 times 2 divided by 5 times 4 minus 8. Now again, this is a multiplication. You're supposed to multiply 6 and 6. You're supposed to multiply 9 and 2. You're supposed to multiply 5 times 4 before we go furthermore. 6 times 6 got 36. 9 times 2 is 18. 5 times 4 is 20. Now on to the last step. I'm just going to subtract on the top and subtract on the bottom. That's going to give me 18 over 12. 18 over 12 you must reduce by dividing both by 6. So the final answer has to be in the lowest term, which will be 3 over 2. Let's move on to inequality symbols before I combine them with the order of operation. These are the signs you must remember. Equal, not equal, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. I'm going to combine them with the order of operation in order to decide the statement to be true or false. Here are the example where we will write the statement to be true or false. First example. 17 is less than equal to 18 minus 1. Let's subtract 18 minus 1, which is 17. 17 is less than equal to 17. How do we decide whether this statement is true or false? The symbol meaning 17 either has to be less than 17 or it has to be equal. One or the other has to be true for this statement to be true. In this case, 17 does equal 17, as you can see. 1 has to be true. If that's the case, the entire statement will be true. Let's look at the second example. The way I'm going to read this is 12 greater than 14 plus 7. First add 14 plus 7, which will give me 21. I'm reading this as 12 is greater than 21, which is not true. My answer will be false. Let's try a few more examples. 6 times 5 minus 12. Between multiplication and subtraction, you have to multiply first. Let's multiply first. That will give me 30 minus 12 less than equal to 18. 30 minus 12 will be 18. 18 less than equal to 18. One or the other has to be true. Either 18 less than 18 or 18 equals 18. In this case, they both are same. Therefore, the statement will be true. Let's try another example on the right. 10 square minus 8 square is greater than 6 square. They all are exponent, so first thing we need to do is evaluate. 10 square meaning 10 times 10, 100. 8 square meaning 8 times 8, 64. And 6 square meaning 6 times 6, 36. Now I'm going to subtract 100 minus 64 and get 36. I'm reading this as 36 greater than 36, which is not true because they both are equal. The statement is false. Let's look at one more problem to understand. Here I have two different parentheses and I'll begin first with the innermost parentheses. Start adding by innermost parenthesis. In this case, 4 plus 2, that will be 6. We are still inside the parenthesis. We have multiplication and adding. I'm going to multiply first, which is 3 times 6. That will give me 6 parenthesis 5 plus 18 less than equal to 70. I'm still inside the parenthesis and I'm going to add first. That will give me 23. 6 times 23 is less than equal to 70. Now you can multiply 6 by 23 to get 138. 138 has to be either less than 70 or 138 has to be equal to 70. In this case, none of those are true. The statement is false. Please repeat the video if needed again to understand the order of operation.